All right, thanks to everybody who's joining us today. We're going to give a few more minutes to those who are still trying to log in. So I have another minute or two before we start. So hold tight. Glad to have you here. For those of you coming in, we've got about another minute. We will start. We're giving a few more minutes to those who are still trying to log in. Well, welcome everyone. This is Jake, Navy veteran and CEO of Localvest. I want to thank you all for joining us for today's event. It is our quick pitch event for November. So I want to give a warm welcome to all of you who are joining this event for the first time. A little bit about Localvest. We are a marketplace where investors and veteran entrepreneurs connect to build America's fastest growing companies. So we are veterans and founders ourselves, and we're on a mission to build the largest community of investors supporting veteran entrepreneurs, because we believe that the sense of duty, grit, and determination that we had serving our country carries over into the business world. Every company that you see on our platform is led by one or more veteran or military spouses, and we make connections by hosting events like this one and sharing opportunities with the thousands of our ever-growing network. We also help with marketing on digital platforms so we can expand the reach to even more investors. And then in the background, our tools help you track and engage with potential investors efficiently. So here are my calls to action for you. If you're an investor, sign up for the platform. It's free. You'll see even more active deals and be the first to hear about new ones as they come through. For those of you who are raising equity capital, you can reach out to us to discuss how we can help you get more leads from people who understand you. That includes funds and real estate syndicators who are wanting to make that first move into ads on social media. We actually have a system that can generate leads for you, nurture the leads, and deliver them as scheduled calls right in your calendar. And I know that sounds too good to be true, but if you reach out, I can explain how that works. And if you are interested in helping out our mission to connect with investors and in veteran-led companies, reach out to me and we'll see if there's a way we can work together. Now, for today's presentations, we have 4 companies who are going to give a quick pitch today. I'm not going to ask them any questions to go through or any follow-ups. They're going to be able to pitch to you and present. There will be a poll at the end. If you see something that interests you at all, just a little bit, go ahead and click yes, and they'll reach out to you, and we can make a formal introduction for you. You'll be able to follow the deals and get updates from them or set a call to talk more if you're interested in doing that. We are a marketplace for veteran-led investments. So we're not vetting the deals. You don't invest through Localvest. What's going to happen is you're going to have a direct conversation with these companies, and you'll be able to take the conversation wherever you want it to go if you're talking about making an investment or participating in some way. This is a Zoom webinar, which means that you can see us, but we cannot see or hear you, but the chat is live. If you have a question, you'll notice one that says Q&A. I recommend you put it in there. The individual presenters or one of us can be able to answer your questions. Now, if we don't answer your question, don't worry about that. What we're going to do is we're going to capture those questions, and we'll have your email link in there. We'll be able to reach out to you offline to be able to answer it. We'll also be dropping some helpful information in there to you along the way, so I encourage you to keep the chat view open and that you'll be able to see. And everyone who signed up is going to get a recording and links for connecting with the company. So don't worry if you miss an email or some sort of a way to connect in there. You're going to get that later today, or worst case, first thing tomorrow morning to be able to get it. And with that, I think it's time we get started with our first company. And first up is Wes Lyons from the Eagle Venture Fund. He was with us here last month. I think the interesting thing for them, I think everybody from their fund actually is a veteran, but not all U.S. veterans, which is kind of interesting. So thanks for joining us again, Wes, and I'll turn it over to you to talk more about your opportunity.
Thanks, Jake. Really appreciate the opportunity to be on with you and with other veterans. Eagle Venture Fund helps investors get access to the high potency of early stage technology entrepreneurs. And what we've found as we've connected with investors, 150 or so that are involved with us today, is the first question that they have to answer before they answer whether we're a good manager or fit for their needs is whether they're going to allocate to venture capital in the first place. It's helpful to zoom out. I'm looking at a 30-year time frame here and see how venture capital compares to, in this time frame, almost double the performance of the NASDAQ index or the small cap indexes or the S&P 500. And of that, the subset that it outperforms and really shines is the earliest stage, which totally makes sense. It's getting in early on really, really world-changing technologies that makes a big difference. The catch, though, is that manager selection matters way more on early stage venture capital funds than it would in the public markets. So you have a bigger dispersion you see on these candle graphs between the bottom decile or in the single digits on the first year vintage where we had a fund live, in the top decile, which is much higher. The ability for a manager to consistently rep out top half and top quartile performance is really the key that you're looking for. And what we've found is the key that really drives managers that can consistently outperform is really, what do they do with their management fees? Are they taking those and making a profit out of them? Or are they pouring them into the entrepreneurs? Are they building platforms that are serving their entrepreneurs? And we deeply believe that it is venture capital is seen kind of in some ways in the news like who has the Midas touch, who can see the next Mark Zuckerberg before the rest of the market. But it's actually a game of inches of who can pour their management fees into serving their entrepreneurs. And that's exactly what we've done. As veterans ourselves, we've come around entrepreneurs to say, hey, we're going to serve the entrepreneurs better than anybody else. We've built Eagle University around helping them train in the skills it takes to be a successful entrepreneur. We've built Performa to help them raise capital, help 25,000 startups with that. Non-dilutive financing, we help them with our Eagle Impact Alliance. We have our Eagle Leadership Development, which helps them both spiritually and in their values walk this journey, which is such a roller coaster. We have 2 venture studios that are helping them, a growth lab, all the things that it helps to really drive them, help them perform so that they can win consistently over the time. And we're doing that because we're all serial entrepreneurs. We have invested, or we've co-founded across the 5 of us 60 companies. We've been a part of the founding table and seed investments in 154 investments, the last 32 of those together over our first 3 funds. And we're known in the marketplace. What really drives, we get about 1,000 deals a month across the transom. And what really drives our deal flow is that we're seen by the market as impact investors. And but before we get involved in entrepreneurs, as entrepreneurs ourselves, we really take a very different way of looking at diligence. If you've raised capital before, you know, typically it feels like venture capitalists are kind of sucking data like a vacuum and then going silent, and then sucking data like a vacuum and then going silent. For us, we try to very collaboratively sit down with them and co-create strategy with them, then co-create tactics with them and rebuild their financial models, and then give them analysis of their team and say, do you have the right people in place? So that by the time we're writing a check of $250,000 to $5 million into these companies, that they have a very real tailwind. About a third of the companies we've invested in actually go through a business model shift while they're going through the consultative diligence alongside us. The deal flow for us is actually driven by, our brand is really known as an impact values brand, where entrepreneurs that are actually changing the world on some of the toughest issues are coming to us. And the question that immediately follows when people hear, oh, you're an impact investor, is they perceive that there's an inverse relationship between having a really high impact and having a great financial performance. And that used to be true in the original gangster OGs of impact investing. They were typically what we would call bolt-on impact, which is where they would take a non-unique product or service and bolt philanthropy onto it. The poster child of this was the Tom's Company. But they were never able to, as successful as the Tom company has been, they were never able to eliminate the core tension that the quality of the shoe that they gave away was in tension with their bottom line. Our entrepreneurs, if you look at Quinn Tabor here, who was living in a refugee camp with refugees and asking, how could I actually help these youth that I'm living with? It was actually learning language was the big thing that would help them learn, really increase their ability to earn. Today, we've gotten to partner a few years ago with Quinn. He is the #1 education app in the metaverse with the highest lifetime value, and incredible story where 26 universities have come out and said, this is between 2 times and 6 times more effective to learn a language. So it's uniquely better value propositions. This is where companies, we call it their native impact. The DNA of what they do, what they're paid for by the market, actually drives the impact. And so you can end up with an actual linear correlation where impact is driving profit and profit is driving impact. We're seeing that across an entire pipeline of opportunities that are working on issues from combating human trafficking is a huge chunk of the portfolio, to just helping people find scalable, dignified work, to solving health issues like Live Full on the page here is having a huge impact on malaria. Patient Sortal on the page here is providing healthcare for people returning from prison. And consistently, we're seeing that they're able to grow quickly, hit amazing IRRs, and actually make a difference because of the profit that they're having. And we're seeing it's really working. Venture fund, our first one, the 27 vintage, has returned 80% of capital. It's running at a 25% IRR to our investors, queuing up for several more exits over the next couple of years. Venture Fund 2 went into 15 companies, and we've grown more than 50% value over the first 18 months since the final close. And Venture Fund 3 is still open for a couple of months until the end of the year. We've got 13 companies in the portfolio, already up 16% before the end of the close. But all of this happens only when, if we can partner with entrepreneur investors like you. We can only do what we do of changing the world around human trafficking and poverty and health innovation, and really making a difference through partnership with investors like you. So we would love to talk with you if early stage venture capital that's changing the world and hitting 20% plus IRRs really sounds exciting to you.
All right, great. Thanks, Wes. And I got to tell you, it's a very unique proposition that they have. So I encourage you, if you heard something you like to go through, reach out, ask questions. There's a poll that just came up. You can click, and either Wes will reach out to you to go through directly, or a member of the team. So I encourage you to do so. So thank you very much there. All right, we're going to move on to the next presenter, which we have Weaver Gaines from Evren Technologies. We haven't had Weaver here before. In fact, his deal title is just going live. He's an Army vet who served in Vietnam. Then he went to get his law degree from UVA, where he still does some adjunct professor work, but he's been very experienced in the medical field. And I think you're going to see that the opportunity that he has presented to you. So I will turn it over to you, Weaver, and Evren Technologies.
Okay, and I'm hoping everyone can see the slide. How unusual.
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. So as Jake said, I'm a Vietnam vet myself, and PTSD is close to my heart. My father was a soldier, my grandfather as well. And while we may be the earliest stage company here today, we do have some revenues with a research version for our vagal nerve stimulation research that doesn't need FDA clearance. We're looking for $2 million to bring the Phoenix, that's our device, through the pivotal trial and filing for a de novo clearance for FDA marketing approval. I'd like to answer 4 questions about our attractiveness as an investment. Is post-traumatic stress disorder, that's what we're aimed at, a big enough problem with a serious unmet need? Do we have a solution? Is the market for a PTSD treatment large enough to be attractive to investors? And how are investors going to make money if they invest in this project? So our technology, it sounds complicated, it's really not, is a non-invasive, meaning you don't need an operation, transcutaneous, meaning it's through the skin, auricular, meaning the ear, vagal nerve stimulation. The vagus nerve is the 10th cranial nerve, the largest nerve in the body. and it controls the parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system, branches of the autonomic nervous system. Our device, the Phoenix 100, which you see pictured here, is a portable, rechargeable, non-invasive neuromodulation, meaning it's acting directly on a nerve, device. The FDA designated the device as a breakthrough device. And the key I want to leave you with is that we have a clinical trial ready device. And what we need now are the funds to run the trial. Okay, so just how big a problem is PTSD? Well, a lot of people have heard of it. They know it's not good, but they don't know exactly what it is. And what it is a devastating psychiatric disorder triggered by a horrific traumatic experience. So PTSD is what happens when the trauma and the traumatic stress doesn't go away, meaning you can't adapt to a less threatening environment. Traumatized persons are living in an unpredictable, hostile, and threatening world. Their autonomic nervous system is locked in sympathetic overdrive, which is the fight or flight version of the autonomic nervous system. And they never get parasympathetic relief. We call this poor vagal tone because the vagus nerve controls the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the one that says, okay, Gaines, calm down, things aren't so bad. And it doesn't work in people with PTSD. So people with PTSD relive the trauma. It's pathologically intense flashbacks. They have sudden and uncontrollable outbursts of anger or violence, obviously disrupting their family and work. To cope, they avoid things or situations that trigger memories, and it also shows up as extreme guilt, depression, or emotional numbness. And worst, it leads to hyperarousal, meaning you're always on red alert and never feel safe. And that leads to insomnia and other forms of sleep problems. It leads to alcohol and drug abuse, divorce, unemployment, and homelessness, and rates of suicide up to 13 times normal. In fact, today, 17 vets will commit suicide as they do every day. So most people aren't helped by the legacy treatments. Of the 12 million people diagnosed with PTSD, 35% will never seek treatment because they don't believe the treatments will work, and there's also a stigma attached. And of those who do seek treatments, 2/3 get little or no relief from first-line therapies. The standards of care, and of the 12 million, only 2.6 million have a satisfactory treatment experience. So we got a safe and affordable solution. We've run 3 clinical trials checking this device, and they all showed improvements in vagal tone, and particularly our pilot trial from a year and a half ago had a 91% responder rate, a significant improvement in quality of life, and a 95.5 net promoter score, which is about as good as you can get, and it got an FDA breakthrough device designation. So the market is gigantic. It's an $18 billion market in the United States of the 12 million Americans. With PTSD, it's 15 to 20% of military first responders. The largest cohort is women. It's the 4th most frequent mental disease, and it imposes over $232 billion in costs to society. There's a strong market demand for a PTSD solution. Our patients want it, they'll pay for it, and therefore we're going to use a direct-to-consumer go-to-market. Our leadership has all worked together in the past on other successful deals. It includes me, a recovering lawyer, Kimberly Ramsey, our chief financial officer, Neil Giuliano, the chief technical officer, and Kevin O'Connor, the VP of sales and marketing. Altogether, we've raised over $100 million. There's 13 FDA clearances, 16 device launches, and 9 successful exits. There is because there are no good solutions, therapeutic initiatives are everywhere and nowhere, but principally falling into three buckets: drugs, cognitive behavioral therapy, and a hodgepodge we call other. These drugs don't work very well. There are lots of drawbacks to them, including increased risk of suicide. Trauma-focused CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, the main problem there, it does work, but people don't want to do it because it's basically saying, tell us the worst thing that ever happened to you, come in and talk about it over and over again until it doesn't bother you anymore. And there is this hodgepodge of other things with a variety of problems with it. Our key is the focus on PTSD. We're projecting $51.3 million in revenue by 2028, with some $20,000 of revenue this year because we just launched our research device. And we're looking at an exit in 5 years. We've projected an exit value of around 80 million, and the range of exit values based on ratios is 64 million to 88 million, and we're talking about 5 years away. So we have a pivotal trial-ready device. We're looking for a $2 million investment that takes us through FDA approval and de novo classification, a significant inflection point. There's enormous market, a big unmet need. We have a breakthrough device designation, and we have an experienced and successful management team, and we'd like to enlist you in our fight against PTSD. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Weaver. And I would, something that I just pointed out in the conversation we had in there, that the NPS score to go through, I think you said in the pilot that no one wanted to give their devices back. So, which is a very interesting one as you look what to do. So you can see from that pilot, getting to the point to be able to do the next stage would be, I think we'll learn a lot from seeing what that is. So if you're very interested in what the work they're doing on PTSD and how you could potentially take part in that, I encourage you all to reach out. The poll went up there as well. All right, and then last but certainly not least, we have Tom Dawson from Cloak Harbor. Tom and I have been talking for several months about his opportunity and how it works. And there's actually been a chance to, since he's here in the DC area, been an opportunity to meet him in person. So I see you have your slides up. Tom, I'll let you take it from here. And let's go through. I think Tom's had some problems with his camera to go through, so he's not trying to avoid you. I guess you see with his company, he is cloaking himself. This is some interesting stuff that he has. So I will turn it over to you, Tom.
Thank you, Jake. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm the CEO and founder of Cloak Harbor, Tom Dawson. And Cloak Harbor is poised to help millions of Americans win the war on privacy. Federal reports are telling us in 2022 alone that identity fraud losses totaled $20 billion. Phishing attacks have tripled since 2020, and elder fraud has increased 84% since 2021. Our mission, quite simply, is to deliver intelligence-grade identity cloaking to all Americans. Our customers become invisible to domestic threats and foreign leverage. They can't take what they can't see. Our vision is that we protect the American dream by revitalizing privacy, securing your freedom, protecting safety, and giving peace of mind. We're essentially bringing espionage-level tradecraft to everyone that can buy it. And this means we're bringing Mission Impossible and the non-official cover list to life. Invisibility is a simple and it's an intriguing way to act against complacency and threats. We deliver at-risk customers from harm's way to safety, instilling confidence, security, and hope from uncertainty and fear. How do we do it? We issue a legal cover identity or an alias. We shield your finances, communications, locations, and assets from prying eyes. We greatly reduce your digital footprint. Our people are leaders with over 211 years of specialized experience in diverse commercial, Army, Navy, Air Force operations, IT integration, signature reduction, estate planning, finance, and marketing. I'm Tom Dawson, as I said, CEO and founder. I'm also an Air Force veteran and a 30-year leader in providing relatively complex intelligence, defense, and private sector technology solutions. My claim to fame is that I built the Ops Center at the National Counterterrorism Center just after 9/11. So how do we do it? Really, we bring 18 world-class partners together into an integrated solution. We've selected these best-of-breed providers. Some of them you'll notice include TransUnion's Identity Force, Proton Mail, Privacy.com, and Signal. Those are some of the more noteworthy ones, but these are all leaders, and we've put them together into a wonderful cloak. our customer segments are that we'll start with military and government employees because they're 3 times more likely than everyday citizens to have their bank accounts drained by electronic means. Other target segments that we are focused on include judges, political leaders, journalists, police, educators, healthcare providers, executives, fiduciaries, IT admins, and celebrities. The features that we offer are tiered and boxed solutions like bronze, silver, and ridiculous, tailoring for specialized needs, deep expertise in tradecraft, a brand that our customers trust, a secure SaaS platform, robust customer support, a valued badge of honor that we convey on businesses that sign up key folks for our service, affordable pricing, and one-stop shopping at our website. Our outreach and marketing begins with direct sales and discovery conversations. We've had about 300 so far. We'll keep having them. Then we move from there into co-marketing through our 18 partners, contract outreach directly to SOCOM, FBI, CIA early adopters. And then we're also going to channel marketing, using channel marketing to get to business benefits providers. We'll also use influencers, social media, paid search, studies, publicity, and surveys to find people. We will also white label our expertise to existing vanilla credit monitoring providers. Millions and millions of people are signed up for these vanilla services, and they can be upgraded in place. Insurance companies that offer cybersecurity insurance are another source because something like 80% of the attacks that come in through people and not exotic zero-day attacks. Our business model is that we are self-service, we are membership-based with tailored services upon demand. We'll go direct to the consumer as well as B2B customers. We project a highly scalable and profitable enterprise. As we grow, our costs will shrink because we'll be able to negotiate better terms with our 18 partners. Our revenue projections are 20 million in year 1, scaling up to 600 million in year 4. Our earnings begin at 1.5 million in year 1, scaling to 130 million in year 4. The investment opportunity that I'm here to tell you about briefly is that we are today seeking pre-launch seed capital of $750,000. In return, we'll offer a convertible note paying 8.5% APR that converts into equity shares during Series A round at 80% of the cash price per share. Another way to say that is we're giving you a 20% discount by coming in early. Our launch is projected for first quarter of 24, and these funds that we raise today will be used to launch with full integrity and 2 months of cash to finance our operations. Post-launch, we'll be doing a $5 million Series A round in return for 20% equity stake. Thank you, everyone. Really look forward to answering all your questions and connecting more deeply with you all after this. Thank you. Thank you, Jake.
All right. Thanks, Tom. So the poll is going up for Cloak Harbor. And as he mentioned, something that he and I have been talking about over the last few months in here is that as they go into the first quarter, it also sounds like something for you to actually be part of the first round of going through of being involved in their rollout. They're also looking for that as well. So it's a great opportunity to reach out to Tom and members of the team to talk about either investing or being a part of that first round when it comes there in the early part of the first quarter. So thank you for being able to come in here, Tom, as well.
Thank you, Jake.
So those are our 4 pitches that we've had today. I think you can all agree that a varied group of companies that are here, all doing something very different, but all anchored with a background of being veterans and trying to solve very unique challenges that are out there. So thank you to Eagle Venture Fund, Evren Technologies, Michael on the MDS Shale Development Opportunity, and Cloak Harbor as well. I don't have a cool graphic for you. This is normally the part where I talk about the Commander-in-Chief Award. So I have 1 more month coming in here, and we had a couple of Armies, an Air Force, a Navy. There was not a Marine in there, which I'm fine with, at least for the start here. All in good fun, but We're getting close in there. It's very much neck and neck to go through, which I think is a good thing as we go, that we're representing all the branches here with our opportunities that we have for 2023. You will get a follow-up email with the recording and all the contact information for today, just as a reminder. We do have a few things coming down the line as well. When you log into Localvest and you go to the activity page on the right side, you'll see all the different events are there. It's not only Localvest events. We pull events from all over the veteran space, try to put them there so that you're not left out, whether you're an issuer or you are an investor looking for different places, in person and virtual as well. The same goes to our Facebook and LinkedIn pages. You can follow those and you'll get the updates directly in as we have those. And the next thing that we have for Localvest, there is a quick pitch event similar to this one. It's on the first Thursday of the month, so that's December 7th at noon Eastern. And we also have a few more companies that are already ready to come in, and we'll be excited to share those with you as well. Always have new things come to the platform. So I want to thank all of you for attending, and from all of us here at Localvest, have a great rest of your week. Thanks.